Greetings friends and welcome. I'm Lorcan and this is the Week in War. A place for us to mull over the lukewarm news leftovers from around the hobby. So I wasn't going to do one of these this week. All the jokes about the riders of Ruhan and Primaris Captain holding Tyranid bits have been made. But then I stumbled across something while procrastinating on the next Imperium's Most Wanted. It's coming, I just need to finish the novel. And it just got me thinking, and rather than throwing out a Reddit post, I thought I'd make a quick video, as I'd really like to know your thoughts down below. So Nick Baton from the Warhammer community team tweeted out some job opportunities at Games Workshop, and the title that immediately caught my eye was Gaming Presenter. I don't know about you, but I got immediate esports vibes from that job title, so just out of curiosity, I clicked the link, and how they've worded the job role is big news for some in our community. Here's the about the job. Are you a genuine expert at playing Warhammer 40k and Warhammer Age of Sigmar? Do you have competition experience and awards to prove it? Well, that's me out then, even if I didn't live where the elves get their mounts from. I'm looking forward to Lumineth drop bears and Age of Sigmar Tyrion riding Wombo from Blinky Bill. Can you play fun, light-hearted games that live, celebrate the joy of a narrative experience and revel in the joy of the Warhammer lore? I like how they go straight from being a top-level competitive player to having fun, light-hearted games. But being serious, this also made me miss the battle reports from White Dwarf. I can still vividly remember High Elves vs Goblins one from the mid-90s. Jarvis's Gobbos got spanked for the loss of about 5 elves in total, and it still made the magazine. The battle reports were the best, combining genuinely good narrative setup, making you care about the characters in the game, and the battle was told as a story too. It was role-playing with your army, and I loved it. I still do. And then you got the player thoughts about each round to break up the in-character bits. With photos and graphics created, they must have taken a bit of effort, and that can be one of the few reasons I can think of why they got squatted. They'd make amazing content for the community pages, or back in the White Dwarf. If they ever got resurrected, I'd be an avid reader. But I'm getting sidetracked, so back to the ad. We're looking for Warhammer gaming presenters to help us take Warhammer TV to the next level. As a Warhammer gaming presenter, you'll work with the Warhammer TV team to create amazing gaming video content, both live and pre-recorded, from matched battle play reports, narrative mega battles, to live coverage of prestigious tournaments and more. That sounds to me like Games Workshop are stepping firmly into BatRep territory, and that's pretty big. We'll have the full Games Workshop range, including scenery painted to an amazing standard. It could be like watching games in a table-wide diorama if they chose to. Add in they've got access to all the exciting new model releases and Games Workshop's financial muscle to put amazing amounts of polish on their product. It's a hell of a prospect. But it's all well beyond the means of independent YouTube BatRep channels. I'd kinda love to know their reaction to this news and what they think it could do to their viewing numbers, although I wouldn't blame those with a working relationship with GW staying pretty quiet. It's Games Workshop's IP after all, and I think we all know they could come down much harder on content creators if they chose to. I actually think they treat content creators pretty fairly as we express our love for the hobby in our own different ways, but we'll circle back to my thoughts on this at the end. You'll be responsible for keeping up to date with the competitive meta of each of our games, knowing your rules inside out, and creating a professional and engaging presenting style. You'll need to be able to discuss our games at all levels, from introducing a new player to the Warhammer hobby, to engaging tournament players with well-researched and accurate content. That bit sounds great, and they already do some of this content, like the introduction to the hobby stuff. But again, if you were a content creator in the news and tactical discussion spheres, should you be worried? If Games Workshop can get a head start on rules changes and create those videos very quickly, will it potentially take away viewers and subs from creators that rely on being first out the gate with that type of information? Being a face of Games Workshop is hard. You'll always be on. No matter the subject matter or forum, you must cheerfully communicate with our loyal customer base. To be successful, you will need endless amounts of enthusiasm for Warhammer and the Games Workshop hobby. I'm going to assume this is mainly social media and out and about if being on the ground at tourneys is part of the gig. Or would this new YouTube channel allow comments for community interaction? Nah. We know there would be a company line to be towed in those communications, so being non-corporate would still be a hook for creators who might need to become more reactionary and maybe even a bit more critical to stand out. So my thoughts have gone back and forth on this, And as a purely hobby-based channel, based mainly on more neglected Xenos lore that nobody really searches for and Games Workshop video games that aren't out yet, I'm basically a consumer rather than a creator in this. I'm not someone who will feel the financial impact, and I can't lie, seeing what Games Workshop could do with these ideas is really interesting. But in the essence of Spiffing Brit's recent community poll video, and the power of bigger corporations on YouTube, I can't help but wonder if this move could inadvertently in some ways push out smaller creators in the long run. I love bat reps. Supported Striking Scorpion and Mini War Gaming back in the day. Hell, I remember when Kirioth did bat reps with Stylosa on Unit Lost, and that's going back in time. There's also Winter's SEO, the guys at Tabletop Titans are great and have some innovative ideas, SM Battle Reports, and Play on Tabletop. Going even smaller, I enjoy Seth the Mad Doc on Dangly Boys for his competitive orc knowledge, but he does bat reps too. I'm sure there's a whole host of other channels dedicated to bat reps that I'm just not aware of yet, and I look forward to discovering in the future. It's very much an individual preference, I suppose. Some people may consume every bat rep that comes up, but these are long pieces of content, so we can't assume some channels won't lose viewership through official competition for viewers who maybe only catch 1 or 2 a week. I doubt it'll surprise anyone that I'm now mainly a tabletop tactics guy, and not just because I look like I could be Beard's dad. I'm not that old. I'd be his older brother that's had a hard life. Excuse the gush that's about to come, but what they put out now already feels like a Games Workshop production, and the genuine enjoyment they all seem to get from each other's company is fantastic. They just remind me so much of the best times with mates around the table back in the old country. Someone, I think it might have been Bricky, called them offensively British in a good way, and that's spot on. They've also really developed their style over the years, and their graphics, intros and set arrangement has all grown organically with undoubtedly a lot of hard work to reach a fantastic level of quality. I have no doubt that whatever Games Workshop chooses to do with its plans to expand further in the YouTube sphere, then bigger bat rep channels with loyal fan bases will be okay. It will certainly be interesting to see how Games Workshop produce theirs, especially when, as I've said, Tabletop Tactics already feels like the essence of Games Workshop, but with the freedom to speak their minds about the product, with reasonable impunity. Games Workshop could certainly use the platform for good for the wider content creation community. Imagine having special guest players like Valorak in for a game, with some interview banter on Warhammer TV. Good for both, surely. And I think hosting, or at least supporting and taking live footage of top-level competitive matches would be a great thing for Games Workshop to do. When I started my train of thought, I was thinking about some of the smaller bat rep channels, and how it could be much harder for them to gain traction with the official Games Workshop juggernaut on the scene. I still think that could be a result, but as I've gone on, maybe the impact will actually be bigger on some of the channels that are more tactical news focused, with Games Workshop always having the upper hand to break news and highlight key rules changes in FAQs long before they could. The personalities they choose from what will surely be a strong field of candidates, and how authentically they blend together will be key for me. Whoever gets the gig, it will be a bit of a dream job for many, and I wish them luck and really hope they're successful. I also really like the idea of a roving reporter at tourneys, dropping in for a quick bit of banter with the players between games, and making some of them personalities in their own right. Anyway, thank you for listening to a ramble on something that just got me thinking and reminiscing about white dwarfs in double digits. Speaking of digits, thank you so much for those of you who are already subbed. I'm so grateful there's now just over 100 people giving this channel a chance and inspiring me to keep on trying to make it better. Your support has been amazing. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this new future for Warhammer TV. Or just who is your favourite bat rep channel? There's other good ones I watch that I haven't even mentioned. And who knows, maybe one day I'll be big enough to be able to do one of those community polls that everybody's managing to get into our feeds at the moment. Thanks again for listening. And I'll see you again in the near future, where there is only war.